Sunday. The Wolves beat the Lakers by 3.
Was
I
it even
know-
the best game of the weekend?
Whatever.
Honestly, I don't even think it was.
You're right. It was a really good
That's
game.
how good this weekend has been.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't better. It wasn't a better finish than Aaron Gordon dunking.
It was an
at the
incredible
buzzer.
game. That's how good this weekend has been. I mean, there's been so many awesome moments all weekend.
I know that that ESPN writ large is going to focus on the Lakers going down 3-1. I would like to start by focusing on Ant Edwards putting up 43 in a game where he makes a huge statement. We already knew where he was as a player. He goes for 43. He has outplayed Luka Doncic in this series, even though he wasn't great in games 1 and 2. But he plays an absolute killer game at both ends of the court. There's a play, overturned, what they call foul on LeBron. But Ant was killer in this game. He sensed how important this game was. Relentless going to the basket. In this game, Ant Edwards was hunting the hoop. I think he got there 17 times or something like that. And exactly what they needed. And they're down 10 going into the fourth.
Well, listen, in 2 games this weekend, because we haven't talked since before game 3, Ant Edwards played 86 minutes. He scored 71 points. He had 14 assists. He only had 3 turnovers.
Yep.
And he just dominated the fourth quarter of both games. Both games were sitting right there. The Lakers had a chance to get not one, but both of them. LeBron James had 2 incredible performances, especially today on a short turnaround. Luka Doncic was sick the other day. He played much better today. And Ant just beat him in the fourth quarter and just had more juice down the stretch. Some of that, I think, is because of how Chris Finch handled things.
He did that without playing hero ball, which, again, the biggest criticism of Ant as a player at this point of his career is his tendency to lean into hero ball in these kind of situations. That's why I picked the Lakers to win this series, because I felt like, hey, if it's close, it's going to be advantage Lakers because the Wolves really struggle in clutch situations. And Ant was I think it was a minus 51 in clutch situations this year with a, high volume of shot attempts and a low field goal percentage. But there were a handful of plays in the fourth quarter where he doesn't get a shot, he doesn't get an assist, but he makes the play to start the ball movement to lead to a great shot. And that's the stuff Finch has been hammering on him. Hey, make the right read. If the reads get off the ball and kind of start the ball movement, do that. And he had 2 or 3 times where big plays that were hockey assists, and that to me is huge growth. He's not scared at the moment. Like, he wasn't scared last year when he's looking, talking trash to his idol Kevin Durant, outplaying KD and Devin Booker. Say what you want about the Suns, but the Suns were, I believe, favored in that series, and Ant was the best player in that series. Ant's not scared of anything. Sometimes he's too unafraid, I would say, or too thirsty for the moment. And this was like the perfect balance of taking over, but also, making the right plays and not feeling like he had just dominant performance down the stretch.
The Lakers got outscored by 10 points in the fourth quarter, outscored by 13 in the fourth quarter, and played the whole fourth in this one, plus 13. So he's plus 20 in the 2 third quarters. The 2 fourth quarters, which basically have defined the series. That's the 2 games that could have gone the Lakers' way that go the Wolves' way. Now, granted, on Friday night, I know Luka was sick, and he was not himself. But that all the more reason why J.J. Redick's decision-making in the second half of this game is just – he coached this game like it was Game 7 of the finals.
Yeah.
Not like it was, Game 4 of the first round.
Well, the most remarkable thing was him saying they decided this in the locker room at halftime. Like, I'm sorry. If Tom Thibodeau did this and didn't pull a one starter the entire second half, the entire city of New York would have pitchforks out and would be coming for him, right? It would be the biggest story going. Like, I'm sorry. I understand in part what he's thinking. The Lakers roster is not good, all right? It's the reason I picked Minnesota to win the series. They're the deeper, better team. outside their top couple of guys. However, the Lakers are up by 10 at the end of the third quarter. You got LeBron James at 40 years old on a 36-hour turnaround. You've got Luka Doncic, who's coming off having food poisoning and throwing up in the locker room and need to come out late to start the second half on Friday. You cannot play those guys the entire second half without any break. Play Gabe Vincent for a couple minutes. Play Jared Vanderbilt for a couple minutes. Play Jordan Goodwin for a couple minutes. I'm not saying they got to play 20 minutes, but you got to give these guys a break, especially when you're up. It's one thing if they're down 10, and if you're going to go down 3-1, the season's probably over, and you got 2 days off after. So, yeah, let's just throw the kitchen sink at it and go for it. In this situation, the Lakers had a dominant third quarter. They had the lead. You have to give these guys a break. And you could see as the fourth quarter went along, I thought Chris Finch played it perfectly. He brings in Naz Reid with 5 minutes to go. Naz Reid immediately gets 5 points, has a ton more energy than everybody else. So that's inherently JJ's problem here. But at the same time, you have to try to play a couple other guys a little bit. This has never happened since 1988. You just cannot do that in this game.
I will say there were 6 players who played all 24 minutes in the second half. Ant was the 6th. And LeBron, honestly, made some incredible defensive plays down the stretch.
Unbelievable.
The one, like, I don't know, man, if you have to go to Hawkeye to catch the foul, the Hawkeye cameras to catch the foul, I don't know, that whatever. But like he had made it was a bad foul. Now they were forcing the ball out of his hands, but still, for Luka to go the last 7 minutes without scoring, and Luka had a rebound in the entire game,
and just 2 assists, by the way.
Yeah, and defensively, I mean, there are definitely some like Luka statue stand and watch type of moments on the defensive end. And look, there were multiple occasions last year where Luka played these kind of minutes in playoff games, right? Where he would play, he would take a couple minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes in the first half, and then he might play the whole second half. Like that happened a lot. These circumstances are different, right? Luka's, I mean, I don't want to harp on the conditioning stuff, but like the condition was a major issue early in the season. He had the longest injury layoff of his career. There's no possible way for him to be in peak shape. And then, as you mentioned, this guy was puking his guts out 48 hours ago. Spent his whole day yesterday, basically, if he wasn't getting treatment, sleeping. It's just.
It's also one thing if it's Luka and Ant, guys in their prime. It's another thing if it's the oldest player in the league on a 36-hour turnaround. That's crazy.
I don't care if they had 4 days off and they weren't sick and they weren't 40.
It's crazy. You can't do this.
You don't do it. You don't do it in Game 4 of a playoff series.
Look,
there's no qualification.
This was Game 7 for the Lakers. I think. Look, I still think the Lakers can win the series. You made the point. Up 10 going in the fourth. That's not the way. It's not the way. No. Listen, I'm saying in general, down 2-1 as the home team on the road, you have to win this game to give yourself a realistic chance to win the series. That's why I'm saying it's like Game 7. You still don't only play 5 guys. By the way, just because I don't want this to get lost in the shuffle, you mentioned the foul on LeBron, on Anthony Edwards on the drive with 9 seconds to go. They call the ball out of bounds. The Wolves challenge it.